So I started this channel on Paul McCartney's birthday. It's going on 3 years now, this June, and occasionally people ask me, what's with the name of this channel? What's so extreme about the Beatles? And so, I say, well, originally the idea, 2 years before I toured with Paul McCartney, I toured with a band called Extreme. You might remember they had a number one hit, More Than Words, in 1991. A heavy metal band, but that was sort of their soft acoustic rock ballad that went to number one. And I toured with them for 3 months in Europe. And it was on sort of a budget there. I was shooting on film, so the producers back in New York said, listen, you can only shoot X amount of hours per day because it's expensive. And so a lot of the time I'd just sort of just be there and I wouldn't be filming, and they would be like the band that were very young and they were really into it. They wanted to be like the Beatles in A Hard Day's Night or something. They thought that's what this film was going to be, because I was shooting black and white as well, which by their request. They'd be like, hey, what the hell? What are you doing? We're not paying you to sit around here. Why aren't you filming? And I couldn't tell them, that the producers in New York told me not to film too much. I'd just say, all right. And I'd try to film a little more. And then the producers would be like, hey, you're shooting too much. It's expensive because it's film. It has to be developed and, the whole bit. And it costs a lot of money. So I came up with a solution. This was back in the days when the high 8 camera, video camera, was sort of like the new thing. And, I think we were in Ireland or something, and I picked one of those up. And I said, I'll just shoot them for myself when I'm not working on the movie, on the real project, just so they think that I'm always busy. So what I'm going to do is a little tour documentary for myself, like my little diary of my experience, because this was my first tour, first major tour with a rock band, And so I had that camera and I was filming, and I filmed a lot. When I got back to New York, I had 24 hours of video, I should say, not film, 24 hours of video that I shot, and that was my tour diary. And it was mostly the band, because they see me with the camera, they want to be the center of attention. And a lot of it was very funny and cool and stuff like that. But it was mine. It wasn't part of the project. The project was a commercial release that was planned and done, and it was a concert film that where the songs from the concert were interspersed with documentary scenes on the road that I shot on black and white film. So that's what I was paid to do, and that's what the band owned. Now, this 24 hours of video that I shot on my own time, when I wasn't working and when I wasn't being paid, is mine. So my intention when I started the channel was to present both videos that I shot of Paul McCartney on the road in 1993, very intimate performance pieces and stuff like that, and but also Extreme, what I shot with that band. Hence the name, the Extreme Beatles Archive. I'm not trying to say the Beatles are extreme, but what happened after, I would say, 8 months of editing and uploading this material of the band Extreme to this YouTube channel, I received 30 copyright strikes from Extreme, from their management, threatening to take down my channel. I'm going to show you that because, YouTube gives you records on these things there. So I'll just show you one, something about Nuno this, Nuno that. And they forced me to take down all 30 of them. And, that was kind of a shame, because I have a 24-hour time capsule of an era when a band on the road wouldn't have their noses buried in their phones. They would actually talk and do funny things and stuff, and they weren't just like zoning out and on the internet or something and just not socializing. It was in the waning days of the so-called hair band era, and Extreme was transitioning out of that. They had deep Beatle influences, and they were starting to show those and do much more interesting music, which can be heard on their their album Three Sides of Every Story, which they recorded just after the tour I was on with them. And the songs were great. Nuno's great. Nuno Betancourt, great guitarist. Gary Sharon, you know, good too. Um, of course, we know that he later joined Van Halen after what's his name there, Sammy Hagar was no longer the singer. And poor Gary, he was not well received by the fans, and it didn't go good for him. And later, he described his role. He said, I was the Joe Besser of Van Halen. Joe Besser being uh, who replaced Shemp after Shemp replaced Curly in the Three Stooges, and was not the most beloved, although I like the fella. So yeah, they forced me to take all those down. And at the same time, I also had worked with Yoko Ono, so I added her stuff to the channel, which essentially was John Lennon material she had given me. I directed a music video for her. She covered John Lennon's song Love from his first solo album. And she gave me all this footage of her and John and stuff. So I made some nice videos out of that. And then I get copyright strikes from Yoko Ono. And also I have the notification of that, so I'm going to put that up because it actually says who the complainant is. It's Yoko Ono Lennon. Good Lord.